Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Limbus Company reaction. This one is kind of weird and I'm going to have to read the title directly because there's no way I was going to memorize this. It is LCB CP4 Dongbeak Ego Stage 448. I assume it's pulled from the game files directly because that's way too of a direct title. That's definitely something you would find in the files, but I guess this is just a song from a stage. I don't think there's any character tied to this. There was really no other backstory given to me on this one. It was a request from Pobat yet again in my executive producer queue from Patreon, so I was like, you know what, I have to get to it. This has been there for months, but I wanted to get to a couple of these while I'm currently, as you're watching this, in Canada, so that's what's happening right now, and this was just one of the ones on it, and I guess I won't figure out what it sounds like if I don't listen to it, so without further ado, let's go. Ooh. This is different. This is definitely not a boss theme like I've been hearing recently. Ooh, the subtle percussion. Ooh, the voices, the sound design in there. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh, no way. This is like legitimately throwing me off. I'm so used to hearing a completely different sound out of this game. This is so pretty. What the hell? Vibing with that piano. This is so neat. This is so cool. Oh man. You're telling me there's all of this out there? Nice clock. God, this changes so much. This changes so much in my mind. Oh God, this is so gorgeous. I'm nerding out so hard, but I want to save what I want to save for later. Ooh, that's a different sound. That's a different brass part in there. Just that vocal just floating off into the distance. Like, where did that come from? What the hell was I just listening to? You guys have been holding out on me this whole time. This took me this many months to get to this. This has been sitting there this whole time, and nobody has been like, hey, you should listen to this. Are you kidding? Holy shit. Okay, so first things on this song, it's just a completely different sound. It's a completely different experience than the other music I've been hearing. All of that has been great, don't get me wrong, but this recontextualizes everything I had heard about the game before. This gives an entirely different perspective of some of the emotional weight on some of those other aspects that I've been told about before, and it's just such a beautiful track. I don't know what spot, obviously, that this plays in the game, but I don't care either. It's such a beautiful sound. I think this really gets to me mainly because of just the tone overall. This sounds so poignantly sad. It sounds like somebody reflecting on their life, their choices, everything in that moment, that clock ticking, kind of signifying the changing times, maybe stuff like the texture of the people talking in the background. That just like there was like a giggle in there too. It's like maybe that was the good time that they've had in the past, and whatever's going on in this moment feels so much more final, and it's just this reflective moment. And the whole sweeping energy of this song, feeling like the breeze through flowers in a field or trees in a forest, it feels so magical and mystical compared to that, and it helps bring that like daydream like aesthetic to it. It's just such a beautiful tone. I feel like whatever was happening in this moment was a very poignant shift. It was a complete like 180 of what people wanted. Whatever was going on in this moment felt like the player was also disappointed it was happening and reflecting on those moments with whoever it was like reflecting. Whatever was happening was very personal, not just to the characters in the game, but the people playing. They had developed this relationship with whoever's on screen, and it's just a heartbreaking moment. And it's also bittersweet because you can feel that time shift in the sound, the way that it's reflecting, the way that the music is helping kind of move you along in this song. And it's just, you want to go back. You want to go back. Like everything in this song is saying, don't, like I stop the time, stop the clock, almost literally with that sample in there. On top of all that, the song is also, I think, in A minor, because I heard a lot of C stuff in there, but it was also a minor. So going with the obvious of that relative key, this is a beautiful key to use because it is so flexible. It's so bass. The key of C, C major, is just one of the most flexible keys of all time. It's all white keys, and A minor is just the sad version of that. Whereas like the key of C major is usually very bright and happy, can have some sadness to it, but usually when they borrow from A minor to do so, and it's like, I don't know what's happening in this world in this moment, but I want to go back. This has to be one of the most cinematic songs I've heard out of this game, and that is saying a lot. This sounded so much more like what I expected out of like Ruina or something. Whereas like with Limbus Company, I haven't heard many songs that weren't very like tiered as based on like whatever battle you're facing. There's just, here's phase 1, 2, 3, and it's pretty obvious where the progression is and exactly what's happening in those moments. But this bridges that gap of having all of that cinematic flair, but also keeping it very clear what the emotional impact is in that moment and keeping everything breathing. You never feel like the song lulls to any point. And with the violin building on top of it all, it just feels so fucking beautiful. I'm so nerding out about this song. I feel like I could go on forever about like specifically the way this one was written. Everything about it was just so gorgeous. And I gotta stop yapping at some point, so I'm gonna have to make that now. But thank you all so very much for watching. Thank you, Pobat, for throwing this into my queue. I'm so mad it took me this long to get to that. That is the most consistent opinion I have with like the ones I don't get to or opt to not get to from months ago in my executive producer queue. It's like, man, I should have done that earlier. So that's kind of why I'm doing a bunch of them in a row now while I'm off in Canada, is because I know I'm going to enjoy the majority of them. Plus it helps knowing I'm getting rid of some of those in the queue that I've been neglecting for months now. So like, here we are. Even though I know that they're going to be great songs, I don't know why I keep avoiding them. Point aside, I'm yapping again. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you have any other songs from Limbus Company that is like this at all, any other like moments that sound very cinematic like this that I could dig into a little bit more later when I have more time to do so, please leave them in the comments below and I will do my best as always to get to them. I have a few more of the boss themes, I'm pretty sure, from Library of Ruina as well that I need to tackle soon, so there's going to be a lot coming on there. But I digress. If you like this video and you want to follow me and support me for more in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!